Well, a little less than a year ago, as you may recall, I was in New Orleans covering Hurricane Gustav. The city, which was still rebuilding 4 years after the devastation of Hurricane Katrina, is clearly a land of opportunity. The U.S. Census Bureau has declared New Orleans the fastest growing city in the United States, and as a result is seeing a boom in people starting businesses. The NOLA entrepreneurship boom is making such an impact, it's the cover story of August's Entrepreneur magazine. Two men who are trying to jazz up business in the Big Easy are Sean Cummings and Nick Perkin, and they join me right now. Good morning, gentlemen. Good to see you guys.
Good morning.
Morning, Alexis.
Sean, it seems like New Orleans is the startup city. Some good things are happening there. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, good morning. New Orleans has always been a joyful place and a creative culture of invention, but what has lacked a little bit of is prosperity, and the influx of startup companies here is the ticket big time.
Nick, how is New Orleans incentivizing small businesses to move to the NOLA district?
Well, there's probably too many incentives to name here on this particular program, but everything from employee tax credits to media tax credits for obviously film. Film is, the #3 film production state in the country, right behind New York. There's new media tax credits, so it's across the board. The government's heavily incentivizing companies to start up shop there.
And there's this real entrepreneurial spirit, Nick, that's developing in large measure because I would presume it's everybody connecting together and saying, look, we're going to lift this city together. At least that's the experience I've had there. I've been there multiple times over the past year. What is it about that entrepreneurial spirit, about that rebuilding effort?
Well, it certainly adds to the whole entrepreneurial experience. I think entrepreneurs are, by definition, somewhat adventure seekers in the first place. So the element of going to New Orleans and helping reinvent a city, and rebuild a city, I think sort of adds to the element of electricity getting behind your individual companies. So you're changing your marketplace for your particular company, in our case, finance. But you're also changing the city. So that extra element to it, I think, just incentivizes everyone to work a little bit harder, although they're working pretty hard as is.
Yeah, and Sean, I would presume that part of it is affordability as well, is that, you can have a pretty good living knowing that you're making a future bet on the fact that the companies that are starting up out there will be successful in the long run. How does that factor in?
Yeah, New Orleans is a draw, certainly for the quality of life. I mean, the restaurants, the bars, the music, the architecture, all of those sorts of funky things that make for an interesting lifestyle here. That's one thing. But the other thing that's so appealing is that residential lofts and office lofts for companies, particularly in media and tech, are, relatively speaking, less expensive than you find in the cities that you traditionally associate with vibrant startup communities like Austin or like the Bay Area.
The two of you are Startup New Orleans co-founders, so you're working together to try and draw more people there to do just that, open businesses or work for these small businesses. How do you keep the momentum alive, Nick? How essential is that?
Well, I mean, the momentum is sort of building on its own. I mean, with the Entrepreneur magazine cover and everything that's going on right now, it sort of has a life of its own. So in terms of keeping the momentum, it's actually sort of a fascinating thing, which is so many people over the last half-century have left New Orleans and gone on to move to New York or move to California or various places around the country because they lacked opportunity, really, in New Orleans to do what they wanted to do. And so what you have, ultimately, is this vast database of people who love the city, would love to live down there for the right opportunity, and have gone off and developed these great careers elsewhere. And so now they're all looking, they're hearing about what's going on down there, and for us, as a company hiring, it represents a vast database of talent that we can draw from whenever we need to. So the momentum is sort of building on its own.
Yeah, Sean, I was just going to say, as we close here, I presume that since unemployment levels are rising across the country, they're hearing some good stories from New Orleans, and perhaps that's even drawing more people in because companies like you guys, you've been hiring people.
Well, definitely. In many ways, the city is reinventing itself, and with, in a city of 300,000 people, you can have a tremendous impact, and these companies are, like the Receivables Exchange, like Free Flow Power, like Audio Socket, like Naked Pizza. I mean, they're hiring at a breakneck pace, and it's really just terrific. In my lifetime here, I've never seen this caliber of talent and this level of entrepreneurial activity. It's terrific.
That's really exciting and a very good feel-good story. Nick and Sean, continued success. Keep us up to date on the progress. We appreciate it.
Will do. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Come visit soon.
All right, I will. I love it. All right, guys, we are a little less than 45 minutes away from more.